What's going on, ERB sports fans? Welcome back to another video. And in today's video, I want to talk about when is the right time to sell a player that hasn't yet received hype, but might receive hype very, very soon. We're going to talk about none other than one of my favorite players, Mr. De'Aaron Fox, Mr. Fourth Quarter, Mr. Clutch. The Kings have a record of 39-26. They are currently tied for the number 2 seed in the Western Conference. Playoffs are just a little bit away. This team is really poised to make a run. We're going to get into some comparisons from other players from that draft class. We're going to talk a little bit about what I'm going to do. And then you guys can share your thoughts for what you think I should do. So, first things first, De'Aaron Fox having one of his best years of his career, arguably probably the best year of his short career, although he's been in the league for about a half a dozen years now. I think he's in year 6. He came into the league in 2017 as a 19-year-old. De'Aaron Fox is an electric player, finisher at the rim, doesn't shoot the ball extremely well from the three-point range, but definitely has a game that is unique and is fun to watch. So in his stats for this year, averaging 25.5 points a game, that is a career best. 4.2 rebounds per game, not quite his career best, but solid. 6.3 assists, a little bit down from last year, but his points scoring is up. And with Sabonis on the team, I think that's taking away a lot of the opportunities that Fox has. Fox's steals, a solid 1.2 average per game. Overall, I think trending upward. He is definitely playing better defense down the stretch, especially late in games. I've seen him get several steals at the latter half of games and really be game changers for some of the games that I think the Kings have won this season. So that is fun to see. And then overall, shooting a very solid 51.2% from the field, finishing at the rim better than like 75%. It's way up there amongst the top 5 in the league, including big men, which is just astonishing. So I've got a selection of De'Aaron Fox cards in front of me. So we'll kind of go through them and then talk a little bit about what I think about the cards, what I think about I'm going to do come playoff time. Like I said, overall, the Kings are 39-26. They are poised to probably have a home court playoff game in the first round this year. So Orange Prism, PSA 10 Mosaic, not a color match or anything. I picked this up at the National. I think I picked it up for like $85. I haven't checked comps on it lately, but this is a card because it's nothing really special, but it is a cool card. It was something that was missing from my collection. I do think I'm probably going to move off of this card if the Kings get a lot of hype in the playoffs. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and put a couple of these on the stage. Maybe not all of them, but we'll put a couple of them on the stage just so you guys can see a backdrop there of the selection. Next, I've got a rookie auto. This one was from my LCS. I actually got this on my birthday. I think I picked this one up for like $50 back in the middle part of last year when nobody was buying De'Aaron Fox. I was buying De'Aaron Fox. I think it was right around the time the Halliburton trade went down, and Fox was, largely regarded as the guy that should have been traded, but wasn't. And yeah, I'm kind of glad I was buying then. Teapot made a really good video this morning talking about, LaMelo Ball, Ant-Man, other guys from the 2021 or 2020-2021 rookie class and where they're headed. I think if Teapot, if you go back and look at making that video like 2 years in for this draft class, many would have regarded De'Aaron Fox as sort of that guy, like, who is his player comparison? Who would you have compared him to, and what would his future have been? I think he's turned everything around this year with Mike Brown as their coach. I think the sky is the limit for this guy. I mean, obviously the coach is going to pump him up because the coach wants him to succeed and wants the team to succeed. But the other night when Coach Brown was in the post-game press conference, even though they had won the game on national television against the Knicks, he challenged De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis to really elevate their games and get even better, and said, this guy right here has a chance to be elite. And he compared him to some of the best players that Mike Brown has ever coached in the NBA. And honestly, that's saying something. If he is honest there and he is being truthful, wow. the ceiling could be very high for this guy, and nobody's paying attention to him. Barely anybody was paying attention to him last year. People had cast him off as sort of the afterthought. The Kings hadn't made the playoffs in 17 years. That is all going to change this year. The Kings are poised to make the playoffs, as I said earlier. So yeah, that is a fun one. We'll go ahead and cover up the stage a little bit. Try and save the best. Get the glare out of that one. There we go. All right, so when you look at Coach Brown's history, Coach Brown coached many good players over his career. He spent the most time recently with the Warriors from like 2016 to 2022. So he had the chance to coach Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant, Draymond Green, guys like that. If he says Fox is elite, could he be comparing him to KD or Steph? That's saying a lot, because many people out there do not pay attention to De'Aaron Fox one bit. So if we see that sort of elevation of a game in the playoffs from him, look out. This guy's going to be something special. So next, we've got a red, white, and blue Prism PSA 10. I picked this one up on eBay. I think I did like a buy it now or something on that. I think I was into this one for like $60, $60, $70 maybe at the time. It did go down in value. I didn't sell it because I was holding it and just waiting for this year to come around, hoping that they would have a much better chance to make the playoffs under a new coach. So glad I hung on to that one. We'll see if I sell that one. There's nothing really special about this card. It's not a color match, but it is a fun card nevertheless. So other Coach Brown disciples, when he spent his early part of the career, he was with the Spurs over in San Antonio. So that would include guys like Tim Duncan, David Robinson, Tony Parker, when they were winning championships over in San Antonio. And that is definitely a player that you could compare him to in terms of maybe not the player Fox himself, but the player elevating their game when times matter most. So we'll have to see how that one plays out. One thing that I did find interesting, I did a little bit of player comparison in the 2017 draft class for De'Aaron Fox, trying to see where he was at right now for comparable cards. And I did do one comp because I'll save that one for the end. But guys that I was going to compare him against would be like Lauri Markkanen, even though Lauri Markkanen is emerging this year only, Donovan Mitchell, and Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum obviously made the finals last year. So next two cards I'm going to show you guys. These are I have duplicates. I've got two PSA 10 Optic Holos. These are beautiful cards. When you look at these in person, they just pop. Come playoff time, I'll probably part ways with one of these if they get a lot of hype, especially if they win a first round playoff series. And then I'll keep another copy so I can sort of free roll that one. I was into those for, I think the first one I bought was maybe like $80, and the second one I bought was on the order of about $65, maybe $50, $65. So that was cool. Get the glare out of that one. All right. So the Kings, what do we think of the Kings? They're obviously a small market team. Sacramento is not that far from the Bay Area. So is it plausible that if the Warriors don't make a playoff run, the Dub fans will gravitate over to support the Kings? They're only about an hour away. It could happen. It'd be kind of like Milwaukee fans rooting for the Bulls or vice versa. I don't know that always happens, but sometimes it does. So, when you think about the Sacramento Kings, I'd compare them to sort of like the Milwaukee Bucks in a way, maybe the Indiana Pacers, just a regional team, doesn't have a tremendously big fan base, but has a very loyal fan base. And definitely come playoff time, that team is going to be poised to have a fan base that has their back come playoff time. So yeah, definitely fun to see how this one plays out. So next, this one's numbered out of 10. This is a De'Aaron Fox auto. Picked this one up on eBay. I actually won this auction way back, maybe again over a year ago. And it was one of those surprise wins. I bid on it like the day before it ended, and I think I was like $100. And that was when prices were still a little bit elevated. So I held this one that entire time. It is numbered 9 out of 10. And not an on-card auto, but still a pretty cool card to look at. And come playoff time, I might sell this one. I think I could probably sell it for a little bit of profit right now, but I'm going to wait on that and see what I can do come playoff time. So De'Aaron Fox, Fast Break Prism Gold out of 10. All right, next one up, we're going to talk about an Optic Shock. I got this one. These are beautiful cards to look at. The whole array of Optic. I think I'd probably want to collect the rainbow for De'Aaron Fox. I've got most of them. I've got the base, the hollow, the shock, the fast break hollow, which we'll cover in a minute, and I've got the color match purple. I'm kind of missing the orange, the teal green. There's probably a couple other parallels in there, but for the most part, I have most of that rainbow. This one I got when De'Aaron Fox's prices were probably the lowest going into the season. This was like late summer. I ended up winning this one, I think, right after the National, and it was about, I want to say it was about $42, maybe even less. I'm not sure on that one, but it was $37 to $42 in that range. It was definitely a cheap buy, and I could probably make a little bit of money off this one. Not a ton, but definitely will be one that I'll look to move off of, or I'll just keep it because I only have one copy and try and collect the entire rainbow and then sell some of my duplicates. So we'll see what happens there. All right, we won't put them on the stage. We got 3 cards more to show you. We got 1 auto and 2 more optics. So yeah, getting back to what I was saying about the Kings, 39 and 26 with 4 losses in their first 4 games. So if you look at it from that perspective, this team is 39 and 22 since starting 0 and 4. They have only been on national television twice. The Kings are probably going to get some national television attention here down the stretch, and especially come playoff time when they probably will likely play like the Warriors or the Lakers or somebody like that. And then most assuredly, they'll get a lot of playoff buzz. So, yeah. Anyway, guys, we'll get you guys out of here in probably less than 15 minutes. But this is the fast break hollow. This was one of the first Optic cards that I bought of De'Aaron Fox. Another auction I didn't expect to win at the time. And this one I did a little bit of comparison between him and De'Aaron Fox and or Donovan Mitchell. And the interesting thing about this card right now, I think the latest comp from eBay, this one sold for $180. And if I look at the exact same card in Jason Tatum and Donovan Mitchell, this card is 39% of the value of the Jason Tatum card, and it is 90% the value of the Donovan Mitchell card. So it's still underpriced relative to those other 2 players. Significantly underpriced versus Jason Tatum. Now, I know Jason Tatum plays in the Boston market, very popular, younger than De'Aaron Fox, scores more than De'Aaron Fox, MVP candidate, no doubt, probably the best player from that draft class. But when I look at De'Aaron Fox, Donovan Mitchell, the only difference between those 2 players is Donovan Mitchell probably can shoot a little bit better from the outside than De'Aaron Fox, but De'Aaron Fox is a better finisher at the rim. So we'll have to see how this one goes. I love looking at this card. The Disco Prisms just pop in hand, and that is going to be one that's going to be hard for me to part with come playoff time. So a couple more cards here, and then, like I said, we'll wrap it up. They play the Suns tonight. Now, the Suns, I think, are 2-0 against the Kings this year. They do play one more time after this, so we'll have to see how that one plays out. They could split the season series, but thus far, they've had a hard time with the Suns, and KD came to the Suns, so many people thought the Suns were going to make a run, and KD got hurt. So, yeah, we'll have to see how that one plays out. So, anyway, I've got 2 more cards. I'll just show them to you both at the same time. We've got a De'Aaron Fox purple and a De'Aaron Fox on-card auto from Cornerstones. I bought this one at the Midwest Monster in the June show, and I bought this one at the Midwest Monster in the October show. My price point for buying this card was a mere $40. $40. That seems so cheap compared to where this card is right now. I think the last comps I saw on eBay, we're pushing this card in the $150 to $175 range. So I took a flyer on this one. I took a flyer on this one as well, $50. But between these 2 cards, I'm in it for less than $100. At some point, selling into a player's hype has to be something that any card collector / investor / flipper, whatever you want to call me, speculator, I have to be able to move off some of these cards if I'm going to reinvest that money into something else. But I was a big De'Aaron Fox fan. I still am a big De'Aaron Fox fan. I'm a big believer in this team long term. Even when this year ends, if they don't win the title, if they don't win out of the first round, if they don't go very far at all, I'm not going to not be a De'Aaron Fox fan. I'm not going to stop believing in them. I believe his best years are still ahead of him. If I go back to what his coach said, other guys that Mike Brown has coached over the years include LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant. If Mike Brown believes that this guy can be elite, it would probably be wise for me not to sell these cards yet. Yet, for once, I can look back and say, I bought these cards, some of them at the height of the pandemic, and I was way underwater on them. It could have been putting money down a black hole, but the Kings are poised to make the playoffs, have a home playoff series, and this speculation that I was on might finally start to pay off. So it would be wise of me to cherry pick a few of these cards to move off of come playoff time. So what do you guys think? Should I move off all of them? Should I move off none of them? Should I cherry pick, like I said, and pick, 1, 2, 3 here or there? Move off of those? Keep the rest, keep buying, wait for the offseason, buy some more. I'm not sure. I love De'Aaron Fox. I love watching the Kings play. Such a fun team. Can't wait for the playoffs to roll around and see how far this team can go this year. So fun. And we'll leave it there, guys. Thanks again for watching. I appreciate everybody's support. We're going to keep making videos, try and do them daily. This one is a basketball video. We'll probably follow it up with a baseball or a betting video. We've got some eating contests coming up, so hope you guys enjoy the content. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.